Hey guys, welcome back to Vagrein Channeling here with me, Jessie Herman. This is another full session with a participant. I really hope you enjoy it. It has a lot of interesting topics that are covered. You can check those out in the description of the video. And don't forget to like and subscribe so I can bring you more and more Vagrein content.
Good now to you.
Good now.
We are pleased, as always, to be joining you in this manner. It is always our pleasure to communicate, to interact, to become a part of your more perceivable reality, as is called through by your desire. It is also our pleasure to discuss with you or to dialogue with you on any subject or topic or interest that is currently in your field, whether personal, though nothing is ever personal, or collective. In short, anything that piques your curiosity or that you would find to be relevant in this moment of nowness that is always present.
I do not hold any questions at this point in time, but rather just sharing a dialogue in this manner and allowing that to go exactly where it will.
Yes? We would be honored then to ask of you our question.
Yes.
Which would be, where is your focus in this chapter of your experience? Where is your passion? And where is your joy? For there are no real answers to these questions, but in pondering and perhaps entertaining them, you can or will or may come to some new delight.
My focus, passion, and joy in this chapter, as you called it, all seems to be centered around the experience of serving, in that I hold the desire that I'm aware is not my desire, but I experience this desire to work with other selves, to expand, ignite, experience the palpable breakthrough and aha moment with other selves. And I am calling that into physical form. And it feels so good. And yet I also feel the normal human emotions of doubt and fear and whatnot, that however, where my focus comes into it is shifting my perspective on those things, because I'm really passionate about lighting other selves up through their realizations.
Yes. And what percentage of your energy, life force, passion, desire, and joy is blocked by your doubt and fear, according to you? If you had to estimate a percentage that was not being allowed to flow through?
To be frank, I would say almost the number that comes to me is 90%.
So in this moment in time, you would say that you are 10% sure of the service that you want to provide and 90% stifled, blocked, or relented by your fear and doubt.
I would say I feel those numbers are an accurate representation of potentially the last 12 months. I feel in the past couple of days, I've experienced a breakthrough and a shift, a realization, a aha. And I would go as far to say that perhaps that is 50-50 now.
Well, then we would suggest that when a question to you is proposed in this manner, that you then take the most recent data that you have upon the result of the question and are allowed and are advised to forget about the last 12 months and take only the current sampling, because your remembering of your situation 4 weeks ago or 12 months ago is actually calling it back into your experience. If your new sense of confidence is now at 50% allowing of your passion to flow through, then that is your current reality and therefore the only reality. We also did notice that you, when describing your passion and joy and coming upon this concept of doubt and fear, you said, I have the normal human emotions of doubt and fear surrounding it. We would like to point to you that the emotions of fear and doubt are not normal emotions to the human species. They are learned emotions based upon conditioning. A baby has no fear or doubt. A baby, when learning to walk or when laughing, is without auto-reference asking itself if it is good enough at laughing or walking. It simply does the action of laughing or walking, and over time learns that perhaps it is laughing in an inappropriate moment, such as at a funeral, or it learns in time that if it falls, it may hurt its knees and therefore does not run at its full speed. So the emotions of doubt, especially, and fear to some extent, because fear, yes, does have its function in protecting your physical vessel, but you are not in physical danger by living at your highest performance or peak or joy or service. So we will eliminate the concept of fear from this equation entirely because it is not related to this. Yes, if your passion was training lions, we would reintroduce the concept of fear being useful for your training in learning to interact with lions. However, from our understanding of your energy and of your passion, role, service, and desire to be in this incarnation, there are no real physical implementations that would be dangerous to you following your deepest passion or path. Therefore, the main emotion that we will try to untangle from your perception, that is what you believe to be blocking you, is that of doubt, which is not a, quote, normal human emotion. It is normal, however, that you are feeling it because you have been conditioned to feel it, or you have allowed yourself to be conditioned to feel it. And so you do not need to beat yourself up that you are having this emotion that is foreign to you.
Fantastic.
What would the doubt be? What would the thought that creates the sensation of doubt be?
I'm not ready. I don't know enough. I haven't done enough training, etc., etc.
From what is that line of thinking protecting you?
From failing.
Why is failing a bad thing?
I am aware that it is not. However, there is clearly a desire to not experience the discomfort of failure.
Why is discomfort a bad thing?
Again, I'm aware that it is not. However, I simply do not enjoy the experience of discomfort.
Why is being in a situation that you do not enjoy a bad thing?
Because I have conditioned to believe it to be so.
Being in an experience that you do not enjoy is expansion. You, when discussing your passion, you were talking about how you would love to watch people have breakthroughs that allowed their expansion. We were at that time going to mention as well that it is impossible to not have expansion because every single absolute situation, circumstance, or experience that one has is creating expansion. However, we did understand that you were talking about expansion in regards to the specific type of work that you would like to provide to others. However, you do not want currently that same expansion. You do not want currently that same breakthrough. So therefore, we would say that you are your first one to serve. You have the capability to motivate, inspire, impact, catalyze people towards the energies that you know are coming through you, because if not, you would not have the desire to do so. But you will need to make yourself your first client, patient.
Yes.
Your aversion to the sensation that is opposite of enjoyment is keeping you from enjoyment. Your aversion to the idea of failure is causing you to fail. And though you prefaced each of those things with, I know it logically, but you do not know it inside of your being because you believe yourself to know it logically. It would be of service to you, if you so choose, to reapproach yourself with the attitude of, I do not know. And to start again with concepts such as these, that when your brain, mind tells you, I do know this concept, you see that thought as the imposter that it is. Because if you did know it, you would live it. And it is part of the survival mechanism of the status quo that is in you, that is trying to make you think that you have already understood, comprehended, and are simply incapable of embodying. But it is the idea that you have understood that is now hindering you in some ways. So we will ask again, why is failure bad?
It isn't.
That is your mind saying. But then if you would have a fear of failure, which you did say yourself that you did not want to do certain things because you are afraid of failing, and you actually experientially knew that it was not bad, you would no longer have that fear. So why would failure be bad? Imagine you were not you who knew that it isn't. Why would failure be bad to someone else?
I am not sure. I believe that failure would be bad to me because I believe that I've already failed in certain things.
And was it bad?
I mean, it felt bad, yeah. At that time.
So would it be accurate that we have heard you say that failure is bad because it feels bad?
Yes.
Why is feeling bad bad?
Because I don't like it. I don't desire to feel bad. It doesn't, it feels in like there's a disconnect of feeling bad and who I am. But also that's me judging the feeling in itself.
Are you able to reframe failure in the same way that your Alexander Graham Bell did when approaching the invention of the light bulb?
You may need to elaborate for me there.
In that, each time a prototype did not work, the excitement that was created within his being was, I am one light bulb closer to the one that does work. Now, had he allowed an energy of, I have failed, I am no good, my plan did not come to fruition, enter his experience, the prototype that followed prototype 100 would have taken much longer to come through him. Instead, the immediate response to, quote, failure was to draw up the next prototype, taking into account what did not work in the failed one, or in the one that simply was the stepping stone on the way to success. You will find that the entrepreneurs, the inventors, the creatives in your collective have adopted the belief that failure is good, that failure feels good. And we are simply pointing you to the fact that you do hold a belief in you that failure feels bad. Yes, you have had past experiences where what you've had labeled as failure did feel bad, but that was a choice based upon a prototype that you are no longer choosing. So you can even imagine yourself and your beliefs as a light bulb that does not work. When you screw in the light bulb of failure feels bad, it does not light up. When you screw in the light bulb of failure feels good, that light turns on. You have an option to override what you believe is blocking you, doubt, by simply changing the belief that causes at the root that doubt. You had said that you had doubt because you did not want to fail. You had said that you did not want to fail because failing feels bad. You had said that feeling bad feels bad, and that is where we stopped with the inquiry, because there is the ability to simply reframe failure, or even that word. Now, you are at a 50% of the energy and service that you would like to come through you. The other 50% you had said was blocked by doubt and fear. If failure was not an option because it did not feel bad and therefore did not even exist any longer in your vocabulary, it was simply try again. How much more of that energy do you believe would be freed up to you if you could never fail?
I would say we'd be at 90% versus 10%.
Indeed, we agree. You may allow yourself to be extremely bold in your experience, in your life, because we assure you that the belief of failure is far more powerful than the not succeeding in any point in time, the service that you are wanting to provide can be measured by your impact on others. And that is actually very hard to measure from a human perspective. You are permitted, allowed by yourself, not by us specifically, but this may be your permission slip, to dive into your service and not concern yourself with results, as the disconcern with the results of your service will allow you to keep moving, to continue to serve. And you may or may not hear feedback from the people you have impacted in some future now. But either way, your joy comes from your service, not from the payment in the form of results of your service. We would say even and be so audacious to claim that you cannot fail, even if failure were to be a thing. Because even in your errors and mistakes, or what you would label as your errors and mistakes, because of the nature of the service that you are wishing to provide, people will learn from your grace of accepting your own errors and mistakes. Does this resonate or make sense in the way that we are trying to transmit, both verbally and energetically?
Yes.
We would also like you to acknowledge, because we do feel this in your frequency and fields, that you are not in a waiting room. You are not waiting for a door to open so that you may start. You are already in service. The door is open, and there is no waiting room. This is entirely the stage of your performance. So this energy that surrounds you, that you are waiting for the perfect moment to get up and act, or the perfect moment to be allowed to step into what you are wanting to do moment to moment, is an illusion. And we are not saying that you are simply sitting and waiting. It's just that you believe yourself to be. There is great action occurring within you and all around you at all times. This is your service already. You are already impacting people, even if it is not in the form of what you would like to see it become form, as you said, manifest in your reality or materialize. There are people, this vessel included, that you have impacted in the way that you want to be in service. Believe that that is what is occurring simply by you raising your vibration. So you are already succeeding.
Yes, and my mind in that moment went to go, then is there much point then doing more than what I am doing in this now, which I know that it is not necessary for me to do more than what I'm doing in this now, but the answer would be yes, there is more point because it feels good.
Yes, and the real question is there any point in being more of what you are in this now? Yes. Because the doing will come from the being. As you feel good, whether it is action that causes or makes you believe to have caused the feeling good, or it is simply sitting on a meditation cushion, and that is what has made you feel good, and there's no active doing occurring. Either way, there is energetic shifting, there is inspiration that is being delivered to others, and you yourself will get the thoughts and impulses that you did not have access to at a lower frequency. Again, we return to your entrepreneurs and inventors. They have access to information in the ethers that is ready to come through into humanity, to channel that information, to create new things that have never been seen before, simply because they are so desirous and excited about that possibility that they are chosen by energy to be that whom comes the idea. Their vibration is in the same frequency as the invention that comes to their mind. So your vibration brought into the frequency of the grand idea that will be your ultimate service will only reach that bandwidth of frequency when you are being and feeling good. Because everything that is meant for you is available to you at your feeling good state bandwidth. And when you are not feeling good, you are not in a receiving mode. And if your amazing idea were to arrive at you at that moment, or every blessing that you ever wanted arrive at you at that moment, you would not even be able to recognize it as yours. You would walk right past a $100 bill on the floor when you were in your head thinking about problems. However, if you are in a wonderful state of being, you would see the bill. Now, you may not keep it because you may decide that someone needs it more than you, because that is often what happens. The paradox of being in a good mood is that you no longer want the things that you wanted. However, you would notice it. The same way your ideas will arrive to you, your rendezvous with other selves that are in alignment, either with your energy and therefore feel good to be around, or with the energy of the catalyst that will take you to the next level, will appear in your reality. And so, yes, our response is, yes, there is a quote point, but the point is that you have to create your own point. What is the reason to do? Because you want to.
Yes. I would say in regards to my vibrational frequency, have been feeling quite a high for the past week. And I've had a lot of thoughts and ideas and desires flowing through me of ways in which I feel it feels really good and I desire to take action towards those things, which line up with what, I mentioned to you as my desire to work with other selves.
We feel some distortion around the word work when you've used it twice in this conversation. We
Yes.
suggest to find a word that for you has a higher frequency. Perhaps
Yes.
we could suggest one that is called interact, or exchange, or share, or
Collaborate.
commune, or
collaborate.
Because the times in which you did verbalize that word, there was a very sharp resistance to it. And we will propose to you that your life's work, if we were to use that word in the context that your collective uses it, will not involve work.
Yes, I agree with you.
So you may, and you have permitted yourself to eliminate that word from your vocabulary. It is not serving you. And you have the creativity to find any other word. We would even go so far as to suggest to not use it with other selves, even if it is the most convenient word to use. Because your words do have power. And this one in particular has some sort of residue for you that is not serving simply. It does not mean you have to fear it, but, or even the concept and the energy around the word is not as spiky as the energy that you have when you do use it. So you would love to work with, you would love to collaborate with, would love to share with other selves. Find the one that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Commune as well and share space with other selves.
We see that it has immediately given you a sense of ease around how to make steps in that direction.
I kept feeling the pull and the desire and the, this feels really good. And then my mind wanted to organize those, how, like the hows and the whats and the whys. And so, for example, it would be like, okay, well, how do I share this concept of what I desire to do with other selves when I don't actually even really, like, I can't even really explain it. In like, the best thing I could think of was to call it integrated energy. Oh, I was going to use the word work too, which is so funny, but I don't even actually, I don't even know how to explain or deliver what it is that I'm going to be doing.
We would suggest then what we also have suggested to this vessel, that when there is a logical block to what it is you are flowing through, for example, you are flowing through this idea, this vision, and you come up against the block, or what seems to be a block of, yes, I see X, Y, and Z, but how does this get delivered? How do I verbalize this? How do I communicate this? How do I share this? How do I market this? How do I monetize this? How do I, whatever the question comes up. We propose a radical model.
Yes.
Of completely ignoring that block. Understanding that if you do not have the answer to a question, how do I? It means that you do not need the answer to that question, and the universe is handling that on your behalf. So,
yes.
If the question is, how do I get clients? And you believe that you have to think up some sort of strategy to get clients and to sit and convince, and then you take courses to find out how do I get clients, and this is your biggest problem.
That doesn't feel good.
The universe already is doing that, as if you have a personal assistant that says to you, you deal with what is your expertise and I will deal with the rest. If the question is, yes, but how do I feed my family? Then again, there is some divine assistant sitting there with its skills handling that aspect. Because if you needed to know how, you would. This can seem extremely radical. It does mean that you do have to shift your entire model to one of faith. It does mean you have to let go of some huge collective conditioning around how things are meant to be done. But it does also free you up energetically to really push forward with the parts that you are an expert in. And yes, it's safe to leave a project when you do not have the how until the how arrives. Because we are not saying that perhaps someone will come along and solve all your problems, but the inspiration will come at the right time for that problem to no longer be there. So you may not have the how now, but you will have it in another now. Or some other version of you will come with the solution.
No, I really resonate with that. I have no desire to like do marketing or anything like that. That doesn't feel good to me.
So a quick hack, a quick way to remember to record this within you is then the question comes into your mind, how? You may respond, that's none of my business.
Cool. I like that. I'm going with that. Is the same to be said then for the what?
Yes. That too will come with inspiration. If you do not know what is the next move, what is the next step, then your next step is to raise your vibration. Your next step is to do the next best thing that feels good to you in that moment.
Yes. So I want to touch back on something that you brought up before.
Yes.
And it was around this concept of, you know, which I heard last week anyway, but me saying that I know something, but the difference being that I understand it. I don't know it because I'm not living the embodied experience of it, right?
Yes.
So I feel like often some of the things that I might share are things that I understand, but perhaps not fully embodied know.
Yes. This is fine and appropriate, because the knowledge that you have is not for you. There is the mechanism of your brain to be able to store knowledge and share it and teach. Yes. But it is not for you. The other mechanism that you have currently in your brain is that you are at this point where you are saturated with information, which is wonderful because it was necessary for you to get to the place where you are ready to embody or to integrate completely, allow all of this information into your cells, but you have not yet taken the step. And the reason why you have not yet taken the step is because you believe that knowing is valuable. It is only valuable up until a point. Past that point, you understand that you know nothing at all. Because each thing that your mind tells you you know at that threshold or past that threshold, your being will then go and check if it's actually known. And your being knows nothing because there's nothing to be known. So the state of knowing is for the mind. The state of being is for your essence. But you cannot know anything when you are being, because each experience is new. So when you say, I know that doubt is not serving me, if you speak that out loud, your being might be saying, well, maybe it is serving me in a moment. And in another moment, we'll say, yes, of course, it's not serving me. And in another moment, we'll say, what the hell is doubt? Because nothing is static to the being. So there is nothing that is even able to be known. Every time you say, I know, you may, from this moment forward, analyze and tap into your inner essence and ask it, do I know? And it will always come up with the same answer. The answer is no. Because it cannot know. So it really is the case that you come to a place where you realize that everything that you wanted to know was to know nothing. And knowledge, information, is serving until it no longer serves. So there's no rush here either. There is no need to get to that state, or not even get to that state. It is not a state to be gotten at, because it is the state of your being, or the existence, or the beingness of your being. But you are aware of this mechanism in you because you do know so much. Because you do know. And yes, you can share, but there will be a threshold. There will be a place where one day you are sharing what you know, and there is a part in you laughing because you do not actually know that. Yes, sharing is happening. Yes, benefit is being had. But is it the truth? There's no way to know. Because there's no need to. So feel free to share your knowledge. Absolutely. There is no damage in that. And we are not saying you do not know. We're not saying that your knowledge is inaccurate. It is accurate in many cases. It is developing in many others. And on an absolute level, you are all, every single one of you, completely mindless.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You may focus on your vibration in this period and focus less on concerning yourself with how or what or why or where the fruit of that focus is going to first blossom and then ripen. We guarantee that you are 100% safe to do so, to focus on yourself and on feeling good, because this is the pathway for you.
Okay. When you say that, just, I'm focusing on my vibration and feeling good, which is fantastic. And that's what I feel I am doing. I take that as, okay, so don't do anything, like don't put myself out there, or don't start working with other selves.
Said.
I know,
yes, I know. Feel good when you do that.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say, that. But that if that feels good, that's also what I'm meant to be doing.
Yes. In fact, it is possible, and we imagine that it may be the case that that is what makes you feel the most good. And eliminating the block that we had offered you earlier of the what, how, why will allow you to do that more often without the doubt that we spoke about earlier, or that you spoke about earlier, of failure.
Yes.
And without that doubt of failure, and without the what, why, and where, and how, you are then free to serve and, quote, put yourself out there in a high level that makes you feel good, not because there's any reason to do it, except that it makes you feel good. It feels right to you in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. And you have eliminated any blocks to doing so. Yes. In fact, the term "I do not know," people will ask you, well, why are you doing this? You would do well to adopt the mantra, I do not know. I do not know why I'm doing it. I do not know how I am doing it. I do not know what for I am doing it. I do not know what is going to happen. I do not know who is going to see this. I do not know what I will be doing tomorrow. Repeat over and over.
Yeah.
Instead of your mantra, I know, I do not know. Why are you afraid of failure? I do not know. Why is pain a bad thing? I do not know. Not, I know it isn't.
Yeah.
And then you allow the answers to come to you. Maybe, I do not know why failure is bad. And then the answer comes because in the past someone told you it was. And that person themselves, in your eyes, did not have a successful experience, and you did not want to be like them. So you thought that they had some sort of knowledge or wisdom upon that subject. However, it is exactly the paradoxical opposite of the person you should have been listening to about failure or success. Because talk to a successful person and ask them about failure. We would give you that homework if you so choose to take it. Find out what their belief about failure is. We guarantee you it is not that it is bad. So you do not know, and we know that this is the opposite to the advice that you had a short while ago. Because you do simultaneously know best and know nothing at all.
Yes.
And with that, we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anai.
Thank you.
So I'd love to know what you thought of that. Please leave your comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and join me again next time here on Vagrein Channeling. Bye-bye.